different climate change strategies. So, or we also understand different terminologies. So, first, what is carbon sequestration? So, carbon sequestration is nothing but capturing the carbon and storing the carbon. So, it can be by terrestrial sequestration or it can be by geological sequestration. What is terrestrial sequestration means? Is simply tree. So, tree basically by growing trees, it will be basically capturing the CO2. Geological sequestration means the CO2 we capture it and it store beneath, so store it in the deep undergrounds. So this is about carbon sequestration. Carbon sequestration. Next is carbon sink. So anything is called as a carbon sink if it absorbs more CO2 than the CO2 that it releases. So example tree. So tree is called as carbon sink. Why? Because it absorbs more CO2 than the CO2 which it releases. Next concept is carbon credit. So an organization can earn one carbon credit, let's say. So when can it earn one carbon credit? If it emit 1 ton of CO2 equivalent. So basically it emits 1 ton less amount of CO2. Then it can earn one carbon credit. So we can say like this. So one carbon credit is equivalent to 1 ton of CO2 emission. Next, what is carbon offsetting? So carbon offsetting. So let's say we take about place one. So basically place one releases 1 ton of CO2 means plus 1 ton of CO2. And let's say there is another place which releases or which avoid to release 1 ton of CO2 minus 1 t CO2. So that's why you're writing. So basically it avoids to release 1 ton of CO2. So how we can, so simply by installing solar power plants, so renewable energy. So by investments in renewable energy, it can decrease the amount of CO2 that it can emit. So this is called offsetting. So here we are in place one, you have released 1 ton CO2. In P2 place, we have avoided release or emitting of 1 ton CO2. So here balance. So here absorption is balanced with releasing of CO2. So the same is thing with carbon neutrality. What does carbon neutrality means? So carbon emissions, so total number of carbon emissions is equal to total number of carbon emissions that, so carbon that is absorbed. Then it is called carbon neutrality. What is carbon negative? Whenever the emissions is less than absorption, then it's called carbon negative. Next, what is carbon tax? So whoever is releasing more number of carbons, taxing on them is simply known as a carbon tax. Next, what is carbon intensity? So it means nothing but amount of carbon release per GDP. It is known as a carbon intensity. So next important concept is carbon market. What are carbon market? So this concept has been evolved by Kyoto Protocol under UNFCCC. So the carbon market is majorly divided into project based and non-project based. What is project based? Project means simply establishing some project. So in non-project based, there will be no project that will be established. So let's understand about the project. So a project will be set up by a country. So by a country, like, so what it may set up. So like solar power plant. So in another country. So before understanding this, so there will be two type of countries that has been classified. One is annex countries, one and other is non-annex countries. Non-annex countries. So annex countries are any country that is a developed country. Non-annex countries, that is, those are called as the developing countries. So if a project is set up by a country, what is this country? It is an annex country, obviously. So only the country which is a developed country, which is an annex country, will be able to do investments. So if annex country has made a project set up in another developed country, that is in another annexed country, then it is called clean developmental mechanism, CDM. And similarly, if a annexed country has made a project set up or invested in developing country, which is a non-annexed country, then it is called joint implementation. Only the name is different. So simply it means So A plus A means the next country is investing in the next country. For example, let's say USA is investing in European Union, and joint implementation means next country is investing in non-next country means developing country. So let's say simply USA is investing in India. Then it is called joint implementation. Here it is called clean developmental mechanism. This is about project based. Now coming to non-project based. What is non-project based? So non-project based is the concept under its emission trading. So if let's say India has been allotted to release or to use 100 tons of CO2. So India can emit 100 tons of CO2 into atmosphere. So this is permitted. But India has emitted only 90 tons of CO2, carbon dioxide. So 10 tons of CO2 is saved. So it means, see, understand, earlier we talked about, so what is one carbon credit? One carbon credit is equal to 1 ton of CO2. So here 10 tons of CO2 is saved, means 10 carbon credits. So India can sell these 10 carbon credits. So this is non-project based. So this is known as emission trading. So saving the emissions, emission capacity or the emission quota which were allotted and selling them to other countries.